Global hotel booking giant Trivago has been fined nearly $45 million for misleading customers with advertising, claiming it made it easy to find the best price for rooms. The federal court found the company had breached consumer law nearly 2 years ago. Today, it issued the penalty. The court claims customers ended up paying about $38 million more for their hotel rooms.
Our intention is to look at laws and a better set of regulation, that it's not that we have to take action after consumers have lost money, but that there are upfront requirements for proper disclosures so consumers know on what basis the comparisons and recommendations are being made.
Consumers can attempt to take personal action but will not be compensated directly.
If consumers act immediately, they may be able to actually stop payments being made if they become aware that they've been misled, or they can cancel bookings. So if they had known at the time or became aware at the time that just by calling a hotel directly on the phone and asking for the best rate, that they would have got a cheaper rate. But at this point, so this conduct is from 2016 to 2019, consumers would still be able to take action to get money back. They would have to take action to do so.
It comes as a new campaign is looking to fight back against comparison websites. Joining me now live is the CEO of Kyco Australia, Trond Smith. Trond, appreciate your time. I want to first ask you about this Trivago case. As a traveller, I guess you do look at these comparison websites and try to find the best deal. I think as a traveller, it can be really handy. So how does something like this happen?
It can often be secret commissions. There's commissions paid to these sites, and sometimes, whether they're got a high level of commission, they might promote that product in front of another product. In this case, they were doing what they call strike-through pricing, where they would highlight a price of a luxury room and then present a standard room at standard rate to the consumer.
How many Australians are using these comparison websites?
Look, there could be up to 60-70% of the population which do their research on these sites, and 30 to 35% of the market is conducted through these sites. And it's the exact reason why we've launched the Great Australian Ripoff. Trivago and travel is just the tip of the iceberg. The ACCC made recommendations in 2018 that the federal government introduce a mandatory code to disclose these commissions, to disclose the commercial relationships between the suppliers and the websites, and give cause for civil penalties to be charged for when they're breached.
You're calling the campaign the Great Australian Ripoff. Why have you called it that? Is it really that big of a ripoff, or is it a bit dramatic to call it that?
Professor Alan Fells estimates secret fees on home and contents and car insurance are costing Australian families $3.6 billion per year. Choice found that one particular site charged 52% for the life of a policy on health insurance. So, I think for Australians, if they knew that their health insurance policy, more than half of it was going to the company that sold it to them rather than the company providing it, I think they would agree with us. This is the Great Australian Ripoff. We're going into a federal election that's been fought on the cost of living, and here's an opportunity for the government to do something to assist the community. We need people to go to the website, sign the petition. When you sign that petition, we'll send an email to the Treasurer, the Assistant Treasurer, and your local member. What we're calling for is all sides of politics to take this as a policy position to the election, that they will introduce those recommendations by the ACCC.
I guess as a consumer, you can almost see how these comparison websites do have a place in the market. I guess it's actually good to compare. Would you agree?
It's good to compare if you're being shown everything in the market. There are a couple of sites, Energy Made Easy, which the government runs. There's a government health fund. Choice also run a comparison site for health funds. Now, they're comparing the entire market. They're not charging a fee, and you will get genuine advice there. Anything else, you can't be confident that you are getting the correct advice.
So what needs to be done?
we need the politicians to implement the recommendations from the ACCC. The ACCC made a recommendation in 2018 that a mandatory code be introduced to minimise consumer harm. That code calls for the disclosure of the commissions, disclosure of the relationships between these parties, and for the ability to impose civil penalties on breaches. To get, now's our opportunity. Now, as consumers, our opportunity to tell the government that we want this brought in. Whether you use these sites or not, it is costing you money.
Tron Smith, we have to leave it there. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Danica.